All right, so I want to talk about Libra Rising. So, someone with a Libra Rising is going to be incredibly social. They're going to be able to get along with pretty much everyone because Libra is a kind of sign to value humanity. Like, they value people, and it doesn't matter what kind of person you are, they're gonna find some kind of way to relate to you. They're going to, over time or usually instantly, figure out how to relate to you, how to have a conversation with you, what you're interested in, what you're not interested in, etc., and just kind of interact with you like that. Like, it's really easy for them to interact with other people. They can walk into a room and be like, oh, hi, nice to meet you, I'm blah, 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 and just be like really outgoing and meet everyone in the room, remember everyone's names, and keep up with them. It's just a gift to them, really. They will often find themselves as the unbiased opinion or the peacekeeper in a situation. So they could be the kind of person in a group of friends who's always like, hey guys, well, why don't we both listen to each other? Or how about we do this because it's a compromise? And they're able to see every side of a situation without taking sides, which some people can find as kind of like two-faced and playing all sides. But really, Libra just doesn't have an opinion. They don't necessarily want to have an opinion because to them, that's not fair. If you're calling on them for help, they need to be able to see both sides of things rationally and not get emotionally invested. This person would be a really good lawyer. Anyone with strong Libra placements would be really good when it comes to the justice system or anything like that. They really value equality. And so, again, when I said that they're able to relate to everyone, this person's really unlikely to have any kind of prejudice. They're going to be able to see you for who you are, and they're not going to care about a lot of the like social inequality and negative perceptions that some people hold on to. This person's a lot less likely to have that. Not to say you couldn't come across a Libra rising that's racist or homophobic, but it's really, really unlikely. Obviously, it depends on everything in the chart, and I don't even know where that would come up in the chart. But like I said, this person's probably not going to be like that. They're probably going to be really open and honest and accepting of you, regardless of your past or who you are as a person or your belief systems. Even if they completely disagree with you on an opinion level, they're going to respect your opinion. So this person's has a very peaceful, easygoing, bubbly kind of energy, and they're usually pretty upbeat about things. You probably won't find them alone too often. This is true for all of the air risings, really, is that they can be pretty extroverted and or always wanting to be surrounded by people because air represents the mind and socialization, communication, that kind of a thing. So when it's your rising sign, that's how you interact with everything, really, like up front. So they want to relate and understand and connect with everything on a mental, social level. And that pretty much requires other human beings. So this person is probably not alone too often. And when they are, they're probably thinking about other people. Or planning on meeting up with people or on their phone. This is very similar to Gemini rising. And when they're with their partner, they feel really completed. Like they can actually stop focusing on their rising sign so much and start falling into the other aspects of their chart, because unlike Gemini rising, who could talk to anybody and it doesn't really matter who they're talking to, Libra risings need to talk to their partner. They need to be around their intimate partner or really close friends. But Libra's the kind that knows that there's a certain level of depth to a conversation that you're having with someone that you can be completely open with, and usually that ends up being a romantic partner. So that's why Libra's known to be in relationships all the time, is it's because they need that level of communication. They need that level of depth and honesty, and it can be achieved with people that you aren't being emotionally and physically connected to like that, but it oftentimes ends up being that way. So this person might seem like they are lacking a certain amount of depth to their everyday people unless you're really close to them, and then they feel they're able to have those deep conversations. But like I said, when they're with their partner, they feel really completed and really relaxed, and it's possible that they might feel incredibly anxious without them, because the challenge for Libra is knowing how to be an individual and how to function independently of other people, because it's just they love it so much. So it's super hard for them to be alone and they forget who they are. So this person, you're already kind of unaware of what your first house is doing, because it's just sort of automatic and a perception that other people have of you. So when you have a Libra rising, it's just super highlighted, because Libra tends to lose themselves, and you know, it's just difficult to create a solid sense of self with this placement. It's probably one of the hardest rising signs for that reason. Not overall, but in terms of self-identity and reflection. Again, it might even be easier for someone with a Libra rising to ask other people, what do you think of me? And then they'll start to learn how they come off. Whereas another rising sign might be able to do a little introspection and figure it out. This person's going to need feedback. And they really want others to be critical and observant of them and reflect back onto them. Like Libra grows and gets its energy from relationships. So if you're a rising sign, you need to have those good relationships in your life, and you're going to have that feedback. And if you are a Libra rising, there's nothing wrong with being like, hey, how do I come off? I'm trying to understand myself a little bit more. Or doing some, inner exploration and meditation and self-development. Like, these are things that are going to be really helpful for you. If you know someone who's a Libra rising, you know that they're probably really sweet and kind and generous and always up to talk to you or help you or something. These people are really good at making connections. Like, they'll know person A is really into cars and needs a job, and person B owns a mechanic shop and is really looking for employees, and they'll be like, oh, perfect, you guys should meet each other. Like, they really like introducing people to other people, and they like just kind of seeing that process happen, because it brings them a lot of joy. And they're really good at facilitating social interactions. So if they see that you are really shy or introverted or quiet and just kind of like hang out in the corner of a situation, they're going to come up to you and ask you what your name is and be like, hi, why are you here? What are you doing? What's your story? Blah, 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 blah. So they're really good at like making sure everyone's included. They're also going to make sure that everyone's opinion is being heard in a group. Like, if you're with a Libra rising and all 5 of you want to go out to dinner or something, and everyone has different opinions, the Libra rising is going to be like, well, let's go to this place because everyone can get something. And they're a really good person to have around in a group. They would be really good kind of in a government aspect as well as the justice legal system, because they would make really good ambassadors, you know? They're able to just kind of go around, relate to people, communicate without bias, link people when necessary, etc. They have a very powerful rising sign that's able to get a lot done. Um, yeah, they're really genuine people. They might hide behind the relationship sometimes. They might, if you meet them, be like immediately like, oh, I have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or oh yeah, my friend, blah 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 blah. They probably talk about the people in their life and identify with the people in their life, but that is a Libra thing in general. Um, what else do I want to say here? And this person's probably really beautiful because Libra is ruled by Venus. So similar to the Taurus rising, where you've got kind of like this really earthly, attractive vibe going on. Libra rising is going to be incredibly attractive, especially to people that are looking for a partner because they're constantly giving off that need. So Libra risings probably end up in a lot of relationships, and when they do break up, it probably doesn't take them very long to get back into a new relationship because they're just so magnetic. And anyone that is, not that they're gonna date anyone that's around, but it's just easy for them to like kind of put off that vibe. Whereas some people, you have no idea if they're really interested in you or not. A Libra rising is going to be super open about it, super direct about it, and be like, yeah, let's get into a relationship. I like you. Hey, what's up? You know? Um, so yeah, they might end up having a lot of partners in their lifetime unless they find someone that they feel really completes and respects and balances them out, and then they'll be pretty loyal about it. Um, they're always trying to balance out a situation too. So whatever the energy in the room is, they might end up doing the opposite, or they'll like join in with it, but in a way that adjusts it, if that makes any kind of sense. Like they can lead where the conversation's going. If everyone's starting to get really depressed, then they know that they can be like, well, this really crazy thing happened to me today. Isn't that funny? Um, they don't even mean to do this. They just kind of know how to do it and how to create more harmony in their environment. Um, so yeah, these people bring a lot of positivity to any kind of situation. They're a really good person to ask their opinion of because they'll give you a real opinion without having any kind of bias in it. And if you if you don't have a lot of air in your chart and you struggle with being social, watch a Libra rising and just kind of observe what they're doing, and you can learn a lot from them because they're very, very gifted at this. Okay, yeah. I mean, I could definitely just keep talking a little bit. I mean, they're really graceful. This person's gonna have a really graceful way of walking and dressing. They probably have really paid a lot of attention to their outfit and made sure that it's very flattering and very beautiful. They're not the kind of person to just show up in sweatpants. They're probably always going to dress up to some degree, and do their hair and all of these things because they like being beautiful and they like paying attention to how they're coming off to other people. So they're always constantly aware of others and the fact that they do perceive them. Not necessarily what they're perceiving, but that it is happening. So this can create a lot of social anxiety unless this person enjoys that experience and is pretty confident, and then it really shouldn't be an issue. But they just have a certain air about them, like the way that they walk. You can tell they're important. You can tell that they're a good person. You can tell that they're there to help and that they're not going to judge you. And like I said, they're very beautiful. So overall, it's a pretty positive rising sign, I think, besides kind of struggling with your self-identity, but who doesn't do that? I could keep talking, but I'm not going to because it's already at like 14 minutes. So I hope that you've learned something about Libra energy and Libra risings. I have a link in the description for my Patreon, which is where I do magical monthly forecasts. Basically similar to this, I kind of intuitively channel whatever the topic is, but I do it for all of the aspects and planets and how they're shifting throughout the entire month. So I just did November's. It's still up there if you're interested, and you can always get them retroactively if it's past the date and you're watching this. So yeah, that'd be really cool. It's a project that I'm working on. If you have any requests for any type of videos, I usually read all my comments and do the videos the next couple days if I can, because I really love doing this and talking about astrology. So yeah, love you guys.